Hello everyone, this is Mr. 206. This is part 2 of the most bangable SCP's tier list. If you have not seen the first part, I will link that in the description. With that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Goodbye. Next up, 714, the Jaded Ring. Seemingly nothing more than a green jade ring, SCP-143 has been shown to be able to expand and contract to perfectly fit the finger of anyone who touches it, only changing size when it's touched by a new subject. However, this is the least important of its properties. It has several mimetic effects, including exhaustion, slow reduction, reduced mental capacity, protection from other mimetic effects, chemical tolerance. So, ring. It's a ring. You know what else is a ring in the sexual world? A cock ring. And this one's the perfect fit. So, you can just put the cock ring on, and just kind of slide it up and down, you know? They're basically just jacking off with a ring. So it's not terrible. This one's gonna go above the idle objects here. You know what? I am gonna say it does beat out the vending machine, and it is gonna beat out the locket, since this one perfectly fits to the size of your cock, because it is a cock ring. Alright, SCP-860, or the Blue Key. SCP-860 is a dark blue key of unremarkable shape. It can fit in any door lock that requires a key located in the area given coordinates, and will function identically to the correct key for that lock. It only works on door locks and only if they are attached to a door. It will not work on any other type of locking device. When SCP-806 is used to unlock an open door, the door will not lead to its usual destination. Instead it opens into SCP-860-1. This one is split into two parts. So it's basically just a key. Warning, this one is gonna get a bit graphic. It is an idle object. You can just rub yourself up against it. It is small, so you can just put it in the palm of your hand and go ham, you know? Or we can take the same route as the pill and we can use it for sounding. But because it is a key, it does have those pointy bits, so it probably will hurt, make you bleed. Just thinking of that, it's fucking gross. So I'm gonna put it at but I'm actually gonna put it above the paper. You know what? No, because you don't have to do the sounding bit with the thing. But just thinking about the sounding bit, it makes me want to put it in no. As if you're not doing the sounding bit, it would just be like mid above all these guys. It would probably be like right here. But I thought of the sounding bit, and now I'm disgusted. All right, up next on the list, 860-2, which is a continuation of the key there. SCP-062 is a large feline creature that walks on four legs with bark-like skin and dull gray vegetation covering most of its body. It has a long, broad tail, pointed ears, and bright yellow symbols on its chest and head. In addition, its eyes are bright enough to be seen in 860-1's dense fog. It is predatory in nature and will display hostility towards anything within 860-1. So looking closer at the image, this seems to be a furry's dream. Oh, that is a furry's dream right there. Well, it is a tree basically in the shape of a furry. It is a sentient being, so it's immediately gonna go up past the jaded ring, but it's not gonna beat out the meatball. As with the meatball, it is just a pile of threads, and with 860-2, it is a tree in the shape of a furry. So if you're able to get turned on by the furry portion of it, you can probably push through the pain of basically just fucking a tree. Alright, next, SCP-895, Camera Disruption. SCP-895 is an ornate oak coffin recovered from an unsuspecting mortuary by SCP personnel. SCP-895 causes disruptions in video and photography surveillance equipment, which disturbing hallucinations of variable duration and regularity corresponds to the camera's proximity to SCP-895. Within a range of 5 meters from SCP-895, footage captured can cause severe psychological trauma and hysteria with most subjects. These disruptions do not extend to observers physically present within the area. So it's just a big coffin. It looks like it's wooden, but since it is a coffin, I bet it is send it down, and it probably has what's that called? Like the wood gloss, the thing that makes it not spiny. So that is a plus. As long as you don't look at a TV or at a camera when you're near the coffin, you'll be perfectly fine. You're just fucking an idle object. So I feel like it's gonna beat the cowbell. It's gonna beat the big piece of metal, but it's not gonna beat the zombie, pipe, and steam. As with the steam, you will get some feedback and some heat. Alright, SCP-914, the Clockworks. SCP-914 is a large machine consisting of gears, pulleys, and other mechanical parts. It has a large front panel and 2 booths labeled intake and output. When an object is placed into the intake booth and the key is turned, the object goes inside the machine to appear into the output booth. While inside the machine, based on the settings of the knob on the front panel, the machine will appear to refine or degrade the item, with rough being the most degraded and very fine being the most improved. Now, it is just a big old metal machine with 2 booths. It is an idle object. You can rub up against it. But I believe normally in the game, if you do go in the intake booth and then come out the output booth, I believe you do get hurt. But let's say it would want to work with you because, you know, you're trying to lay pipe. Let's say you go in the intake booth and go out the output booth and you get some aphrodisiac like systems. That would be kind of cool. And then you can just rub up against the machine here. So because of that, I'm going to put it right below the coffee machine. As with the coffee machine, you do get a little keyboard you can rub up against it, and you also have the little coin slot. It doesn't really seem you can stick your pee-pee into anything without really hurting yourself. So it goes right under it. Alright, SCP-939 with many voices. SCP-939 are pack-based predators. Their primary method of learning prey is the imitation of human speech in the voice of prior victims. Often in fashion that implies significant distress. Now, if we look at the image here, it basically just is like a big red reptile looking thing. I know some people probably like that because there are some people who get turned on by the alien from the Alien series. I forgot where it was from, but there was a lot of people talking about how the alien has like a big butt. Oh, I believe it was Dead by Daylight. They said the alien had like a dumpy. So if there's some people who get turned on by the alien, there are definitely some people who get turned on by this lizard. You're not going to be able to fuck any of its hands and feet here. Definitely not the mouth. But since it is an animal, it probably poops, pees. So there has to be some holes somewhere else. But if not, you can just rub up against it somewhere. For the sake of the video, we're pretending as if they will try and interact back with you. So, furry looking creature. What do you call it when it's like furry, but it's like a reptile? Reptile-ry? We'll call it reptile-ry. If you're a reptile-ry, I guess you would want to fuck this. There are people who want to fuck the alien. The question is, would I rather fuck a reptile or a praying mantis? Well, at least with the reptile, you can see what you're clapping. As with the praying mantis, you can't, or else it'll disappear. So, we'll put it right above the praying mantis looking dude. Alright, up next, SCP-966, the Sleep Killers. SCP-966 are predatory creatures that resemble hairless, digitigrated humans, possessing a elongated face which contains a mouth lined with needle-like teeth. Physically, they are weak, possessing hollow bones and low muscular density. They do not seem to rest through sleep. Instead, they will suddenly seesaw movements and seemingly random intervals of time, resuming normal activity 3 to 5 minutes later. They are visible only in the wavelengths ranging from 700 nm to about 900 nm. So SCP-966 is a humanoid looking creature. I don't know if it has an anus or a vagina somewhere, but let's just say it doesn't for now. You have the mouth, you have the belly button, you have hands, and you have feet. As we know, they are quite frail creatures, and I believe somewhere in game it said that, and the way they kill you is with their claws, as we see here. But since their claws are very frail, that's why they put you to sleep, so you don't move and they don't hurt themselves. So it would actually be pretty gentle. You actually can't go ham on this creature. And I feel like it being gentle makes it a little bit more passionate, you know? So I'm going to put this creature in the passionate tier right above the floodlamps. I'm not going to put it up above the zombie. since even though when you're done clapping zombie cheeks, you will get turned into a zombie yourself. At least a zombie virus can turn someone like Scarlett Johansson. So at least you get to clap Scarlett Johansson before you turn into a zombie as well. As with 966, it is this weird looking creature. Although with this creature, you are going to have some passionate boning. Alright, SCP-970, also known as the recursive room. 970 is a spatial phenomenon wherein a collection of rooms are looped on themselves. In all cases found, this is by means of a series of doors appearing in the walls, all in a straight line, such that it is possible to walk forwards and end up in the starting position. The alteration to the rooms does not affect neighboring rooms and floors. Another thing we want to keep in mind is that whenever you enter a room, there are some things that can happen, such as depending on how many items are in the player's inventory, one of them might disappear. The player won't randomly get injured and a bunch of other things. Now, the one I want us to keep in mind is the dead body, the floating guy, and the soldier. Now, although you're not really able to physically fuck the hallway, you can rub up against the hallway, I guess. There are beings in this dimensional loop, so you can become a necrophiliac, fuck the dead body. I did encounter the thing in game, but I didn't go through the looping hallways, so I don't know. It looks like this guy's flying, so I don't know if you're able to fuck that one. And there is a soldier, so I guess you can just fuck the soldier in here, I guess. But I feel like that's kind of cheating. So I'll get the middle ground. You can fuck the soldier, or you can just fuck the walls of the hallway. So I'll put it at mid. I'll put this at the top of the idle objects here, since you can either fuck the idle hallway, or you can just keep looping until you get to fuck the soldier or the dead body if you want. Alright, SCP-990, or Dream Man. SCP-990 is generally a human male dressed in a Cold War era business suit who appears to Foundation personnel through dreams. Thus far, no Foundation personnel have encountered SCP-990 in the real world. If it corresponds to an actual human being, it has yet to be found. Presently, there have been no reports of SCP-990 appearing to non-Foundation personnel. Now, in game, this guy appears in your loading screen and he kind of just talks to you a little bit, which is kind of cool. One thing I want to talk about real quick, and I'll talk further about this in one of these Wednesday videos, is I actually learned how to lucid dream in high school, which actually wasn't a good idea because in high school I was pretty much having nothing but nightmares, and it was kind of my fault since I was pretty much exclusively playing Hunt Showdown during the time and watching a bunch of horror-related media. Shows and YouTube videos. I was having a bunch of nightmares, and since I was teaching myself how to lucid dream, the dreams would be very vivid. A lot of my dreams are kind of me being stuck in a loop of basically being in a horror scenario. So that's kind of like a big reason why I don't get scared of things, because I kind of desensitized myself. As although it was just a dream, I kind of felt like I was in it. I would wake up, I would feel like I was in pain, or I could feel things, you know? It was very vivid to the point of being physical. So, because of that, if you had super vivid dreams and you were a lucid dreamer, you definitely could end up fucking SCP-990, since he is just a man in a suit. And since it's just a man, I feel like it can be pretty passionate, you know? No homo. Just need to add that in there. I feel like this would be passionate. We'll put that right below the zombie, as you can't really change the form of the... Well, if you were a lucid dreamer, I guess you could change his form, but I feel like he wouldn't allow that to happen. SCP-125, the Encyclopedia of Diseases. SCP-125 is a hardcover book approximately 1,500 pages long. The front cover and spine feature the title, The Encyclopedia of Common Diseases. 125 seemingly causes readers of the book seem to exhibit symptoms of any diseases they read about. However, further investigation into the book's properties suggests that the book is not actually about a hazard, but rather a mimetic hazard that induces I'm not even going to attempt to say that, in both the reader and other individuals, causing them to believe and act like they are exhibiting symptoms of the disease, even when no disease is actually present. Oh damn, I thought it actually gave you the disease. Oh, well that's good to know, so you're not actually getting sick. I feel like this one's just an idle object, so it'll be mid. But I feel like this one has an upper hand, since it is a book, you can like kind of open it a little bit and then like put your PP in and then like close it a little bit to get some pressure on there. And since you're not reading it, you're just sticking your PP in it, you won't get any negative side effects. So we'll put this idle objects, definitely better the cowbell, the piece of metal, the coffin. You know, I am gonna put it above the zombie vent, and I am gonna put it above 079 and the ironworks. You know what, I'm gonna put it above the coffee vending machine as well. But it's not gonna beat the locket. It won't beat the locket because with the locket you can just wrap it around your hand and you're basically just checking off at that point. As with the book, you kind of only, as to the book, you're restricted to, you know, kind of just crushing your PP in between the pages and going ham. Okay, SCP-1048, also known as Build-A-Bear. Description: SCP-1048 is a small teddy bear that is sentient and has childlike qualities. It is capable of creating replicas of itself using various materials it finds. The most notable of these replicas is SCP-1048-A. I don't know why. Just thinking about the teddy bear, I remember that video of that dog just going ham on like a stuffed animal, and also that image of of the dog with like a bunch of like plastic pigs with like blown out anuses. So you could definitely do that with this teddy bear. Not only that, the teddy bear is sentient. In game, it does run around and wave at you. Although it's not able to speak to you, if it give it paper, it can speak to you. So if you like rip a hole in its teddy bear ussy and you're clapping its teddy bear ussy, you give it a paper, it can like write on that paper like, ooh yeah, harder daddy or something like that, you know? Not only that, but as we know, it is able to make other participants, which we will talk about quite soon. Teddy bear, you know what? just cause I find it to be funny, I'm gonna put the teddy bear in till the sweat drops down my balls. All these bitches grow. Not only that, but it's also able to make other creatures. You know what? I feel like just because it's able to make more creatures, you know what? It's gonna go an insta-bust. Since you're not only getting the teddy bear, but you're getting the creatures as well. So you basically get to have an orgy whenever you want, as long as the teddy bear's nearby. Alright, now let's talk about the creatures. SCP-1048-A. SCP-148-A is similar in appearance to SCP-1048 in that they are both teddy bears with black bow tie. The main difference, however, is that SCP-1048-A is composed almost entirely out of human ears. When a person is nearby, it will emit a high-pitched shriek that causes intense pain in the eyes and ears. Directly after that, ear-like growths start to grow on anyone nearby. Affected people will eventually die from asphyxiation when the growths begin manifesting in their mouths. Oh, that's kind of freaky, but in a good way. So we can see one of the ears is actually a mouth. Maybe it has like an ear cooch. I bet there are some weird sickos who do get turned on by ears, though I'm not one of them. But for the sake of the video, I have to be right now. I mean, you're getting kind of the same experience as a teddy bear, but I feel like the plus of this teddy bear over the other teddy bears, that the other teddy bear is just a regular teddy bear with the regular stuffing. This one is a bunch of ears in the shape of a teddy bear, and you can stick your pee-pee in the ear holes, you know. The mouth seems to be pretty erotic. Definitely has a bear cooch in there, an ear cooch, should I say. So it actually has that over the bear. I'm sure there is some type of warmth sense. Hopefully those are a bunch of living ears, not a bunch of cold dead ones. But we also got to keep in mind the teddy bear is able to summon these guys at any time, and you can have a huge orgy with all these bears. So I'm gonna put this till the sweat drops down my balls. All these bitches crawl. I'm gonna put it below these guys because these guys can affect anyone, that being Scarlett Johansson, and I want to clap some Scarlett Johansson cheeks. Oh, this one, SCP-1123. Atrocity Skull. SCP-1123 is a human skull missing the lower mandible and all its teeth. When a subject touches the surface of it, they will experience a dissociative fugue state. Symptoms of the fugue persisting of 90 minutes to 6 hours. The fugue is characterized by confusion, disorientation, and adoption of a new identity and memories which consist of knowledge, including languages previously unknown to the subject. During the fugue, the subject will lose all its memories of their prior identity. As a fugue state subsides, the subject will regain memories of their prior identity, but will also retain memory of the new imprinted identity and all knowledge associated with it. Now, in game, when you touch the skull, it is revealed to you that the skull belonged to some Jewish person who was captured by a bunch of Nazis. And if I'm not wrong, I believe the person you get turned into was a German citizen or even a Nazi themselves, but because they were Jewish, they did end up getting executed by the other Nazi people. Now this one's kind of a twofer. You get to, first off, you get to fuck the skull. Idle object, nothing too bad. It doesn't seem to be gross. I feel like because of the texture, we can't really see it too well, but I don't feel like this is like some mold or anything. I feel like this is just some wear and tear from the skull just being really old. But not only that, when you touch the skull, you get turned into this person and you live that life. I highly doubt it, but maybe you could manipulate those memories in some way, like, with the lucid dreams that I was talking about. So maybe you're able to manipulate those memories and, clamp some Nazi cheeks. But if not, hey, you get a fucking skull. Because it is a stretch when it comes to the Nazi thing, I'm just gonna imagine it's just a skull. So if it's just a skull, it's gonna beat the cowbell, it's gonna beat the piece of iron, it's gonna beat the coffin. You know what it is? Gonna beat the zombie. It's gonna beat the computer, the 079. It's gonna beat Clockworks, but it's not gonna beat the coffee machine. The coffee machine, you get some aphrodisiac with it too. But the skull is just a skull. SCP-162, a hole in the wall. SCP-162 is a hole in a cinder block wall. Its anomalous properties are activated when a sentient being reaches into the hole, into the depth that the girth of their arm allows. At this point, their fingers touch a solid surface, similar in feel to the current location of SCP-162, and they will discover an item small enough to fit through the hole below their fingertips. These items have universally been recognized as something that the user has lost or was searching for at some point during their life. However, upon retrieval of the item, another item will vanish from the person of the subject. In addition, any object placed into SCP-1162 will disappear as soon as it is no longer in contact with the person. Alright, this one's literally just a hole in the wall. It seems like it has an anomalous property, so you can't really seem to put your PP straight down the hole because it won't actually touch anything. And the hole is big enough so you can fit your arm. So it's not gonna squeeze up against your PP. So your best option here is just to kind of rub up against the edge of the hole, which isn't gonna feel too good since it's concrete. So if you rub up against it too hard or too fast, you will definitely scratch up your PP, and that's gonna fucking hurt. So because of that, it's gonna go mid. Is it better than the cowbell? You know what? I think this one's gonna be worse to mid. Because at least the cowbell isn't going to hurt you. If you go too hard against the cinder block hole, you can hurt yourself, scratch up your PP. We're finally on the last one, or last two. These are actually technically the same SCP, but not really. SCP-1499, referred to as the gas mask. SCP-1499 is a Soviet GP5 gas mask. The anomalous effects of SCP-1499 activate when a human places 1499 on their head. Approximately 1 second after 1499 is fully secured on the subject's head, the subject vanishes from view and is no longer detectable. The victim is then transported to a barren, inhospitable landscape with tall black towers filling the area. Upon removing 1499 from their head, the subject will reappear in the same location they were in when they put it on. So it's just old Soviet mask. So it is some kind of rubber latex texture over here. You have the little metal rim and some kind of I'm assuming some, I don't think it's glass. I think it's also some kind of like rubberish, some clear rubberish texture. Down here, that could be some metal. I believe this is metal because that is the filter. So I believe the best way to go about laying pipe to this is probably taking off the filter and just sticking your PP in the hole right here, or just rubbing up against anywhere else. But I feel like this is the best option. So because of that, mid, just on idle object, but it does have a hole. It seems to be pretty decently penis sized. So we're gonna put this roughly about over here. Definitely better than the coffee machine. Better than the book, I would say so, because it does have that PP sized hole. Better than the locket? Yeah, sure. But I don't think it's better than the jade ring, as the jade ring perfectly fits your PP. And what if your PP is maybe just a bit too big or a bit too small for the little intake hole there? All right, final one. SCP-1499-1. SCP-1499-1 instances are tall, nude humanoid with dark skin laced in a thin coat of unknown viscous substance. They possess a large number of eyes and mouths placed on their body. The left arm of each instance is also noticeably warped. So as we see here, it's just some black humanoid creature. They do seem to have, like, they're stitched together, kind of like Frankenstein. And you know, the mouths and eyes just in random places. I don't think it has a butt or genitals. But hey, you can fuck the hands. You can, if you want to take the risk and fuck the mouth, you can. It's got hands, feet, armpit. You can also just go in between the thighs, you know. So I feel like this one's pretty similar to the Shy Guy. But is it better than the Shy Guy? I feel like this one definitely has more holes. And since the arm is twisted, you've got some different texture over there. Some different places you can rub up against. So, you know what? I think it is going to beat the Shy Guy. There we go. Alright, that's the end of my tier list. Hopefully this video is shorter than my other tier list videos. Hell yeah, dude. Nice. See? We didn't put anything into not possible. That's what I want. That's what I want to see there, bro. I take pride in me being so depraved that I'm able to make all of these creatures at least somewhat fuckable. Okay, let me do a question of the day. With all the SCPs on this list, do you agree with my list? And would you place an SCP in a different location? Where and why would you put them there? Also, don't use too graphic words, or else I won't be able to see your comment. Anyways, that's gonna be all for now. End of video. See you guys later. Bye. Hopefully YouTube doesn't kill my channel again.